Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is X-Plane Fly to Learn. We're going to be using the Cessna 172 for all of our in-class flights. If you want to mess around with some of the other airplanes and you have a free 7th or some time at lunch or something like that, you're welcome to come do that. But in class, I need you to be focused on the assignments, and the assignments are going to be based on this Cessna. The main instruments we're interested in are these right here. This is the 6-pack, and you have the airspeed. So right here you have some different bands. White is for moving with the flaps down, and then the green is going to tell you about safe operating range, and then for takeoff you want to be about 60 to 80 knots right here, so it's measured in knots. And then when you get into the yellow, you're going too fast, and then if you exceed that, you have exceeded the design parameters of the plane. This is the artificial horizon. It will tell you about the tilt of your plane and your relationship to the horizon. This is your altimeter, and it works kind of like a clock with the shorthand and the longhand. And once again, as we fly, you'll see this thing in action, and it makes a lot more sense. So this is the tilt and slip. See how the airplane is lined up between these two? You only want to operate your plane where it's tilting between these two marks. If you exceed that, then the FAA is saying that you are no longer flying, you're participating in acrobatics, and they will have something to say about that. This is the indicator as well. This little ball will roll back and forth, and if you were flying with pedals, the rule is to step on the ball, and what that does is it adjusts the rudder to return the plane to controlled flight. This is your compass. It tells you your heading. So we talked about the compass and the directions here. So you can see right now we're pointed at about 110 degrees. So here's 0, so north is this way. There's 9, that's east, south, and west based on where we're at. Notice in the software when you hover over some things, these little arrows appear. That means you can make an adjustment there. Okay. And the last one, this is your vertical speed. So if you're climbing or diving, it will show you this. And what you want to do is operate in this zone here, not way over here. So usually what happens if you're up over here is a really high vertical speed, then your also airspeed is exceeding the design parameters of the plane. Other interesting things, we have an RPM here, so if we increase the throttle, you can see that needle moves. A word on the throttle: for takeoff you want to max it out, but for flying, run it at about 70%, and that makes your airplane a lot easier to control. Okay. And then here we have Nav 1 and Nav 2. This is the VOR, so we have the frequency for each one of, or actually it's right here, the frequency for Nav 1, and that is related to this VOR. Here's your OBS, which is where you set your bearing that you want to tune into. And this one is the Nav 2, so you can set the frequency here and adjust the bearing that you want to tune into. We'll get to that later. Right now we want to focus on understanding what these are telling you, and that's it.